welcome. It's been a long time since I've done a podcast because I interrupt my podcasting world to bring you life. I've had a few things go on in my world that have made it so that it's been difficult to podcast. Number one on the list is my mom. It would be a week ago Monday, had a heart attack, and I got a call at 6 a.m. from my dad, who had taken mom via ambulance to the hospital here in Calgary. And they put in a stent, and she spent a week in the hospital, exactly a week, from a Monday to a Monday. And she's home now with some home care and on the mend, and she's feeling a lot better because she's sassy and giving dad a bad time. So I can tell things are looking up, but she's very skinny. She's a couple inches shorter than me, and she's probably 95 pounds, or give or take a couple pounds. So she's not a very big lady, and she needs to eat, and she doesn't have an appetite, so that's been the biggest challenge. But she also was a smoker, and she's off cigarettes now. She's got a patch. So yeah, so a scare like that, and it makes you realize that you have to really start taking care of yourself, and I think this was a big scare for her. So she's on the mend, and I'm, of course, being the daughter here in Calgary. My sister flew in from North Carolina because at one point we were afraid we were going to lose her, so she flew in, and my brother's been here. But he lives on a farm and just outside of Calgary, and I live right in Calgary, and my parents are in Calgary. So a lot of times I feel, I'm the one that needs to be there, even though my sister, who is gracious and lovely, who flew in, is, on short notice. She feels badly, but life goes on. You have to live your life, as my mom always told her when she moved away. You have to live your life. So anyhow, yes, I feel, that I have to check in with her and stop by every day. So it's been kind of hectic. And then with work and trying to fit work in, and, so the podcasting went on the back burner. So I'm back, and I'm happy to be back. And a lot of knitting has happened, and a lot of retail therapy has happened. So I'm just going to go through a few of the things that I've got going here. First of all, I'm going to talk about what's in my cup, and I want you to notice my cup. I picked this up last weekend at a fiber thing here in Calgary called the Fibre Shindig, and it was at a community center here. And I was pretty excited because I saw two podcasters that are from Calgary. I saw the Lone Larch lady, a lovely Jenny from Lone Larch podcast, and she does those beautiful bags, and she was there and with her little daughter, Emmy. And then I also saw Candace. The two were together. She was with Candace from Pin Feathers and Pearls. So yeah, it was kind of neat. I was like, I recognize them. I'm not sure they recognize me. Actually, Jenny did, but I don't think Candace did, but that's okay. I'm a newbie. So anyway, it was kind of cool. They were there as well. But this mug is a beautiful mug, and inside my mug, and I'll talk about the mug a little later when I start to talk about my acquisitions or my fix from the Shindig. What's my cup is this, and this is our go-to coffee now. Not necessarily this one, but this brand. This is Kicking Horse Coffee, and it's lovely. It's in bean form, and we grind it every morning, and it's from BC. So it's a Canadian-made coffee, and I love it. And this one is called Kootenay Crossing. So this is delicious. And yes, it's still morning here, and I'm having my morning coffee and trying to get a podcast out. So, good morning, Carla. Okay, let's go on to what's on the needles. Well, I've made a lot of progress since I've been in the hospital. You tend to get a lot of knitting time in. So the place where I probably I've made progress on two of my projects, quite a bit of progress. So I've been working on the Drachenfell shawl, and I think I even marked where I was last time. And let's see here. Now, of course, I've started a new row, so I can't really open it up wide. But I think last we spoke, there's my little marker. Actually, I think I moved my marker slightly. I think the last time we spoke, I was about here, and I said I had to do one more big stripe and then another dark section, and then stripes. And look, I just did the one. I was so excited to add this third color, but there's only one tiny little purple stripe, and then you go back into these the cream stripes, or the bone colored stripes, and then you move into the purple. So I just got a little tiny taste of the purple, but I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. I can't really stretch it out, of course, because I have started a row. Silly me, but it's making great progress, and you can see with my red hair how it's going to go. Even with this, doesn't it look good? I'm so excited about this, and yes, I'm going to wear this. And I was so excited because I posted some pictures of this on Instagram, and the designer herself, Melanie Berg, liked my shawl. How cool is that? So that is my Drachenfell shawl. I probably would say I'm maybe 2/3 of the way through, but the rows, it's like an asymmetrical shawl, and as it gets bigger, of course, the rows are longer and longer, so it's taking me a little longer to get through them. So that is the first thing that's up on my needles. What else is on not on the needles? Let's get it right here. This is my podcast. What's on the sticks? I've been slowly, and I'm talking slowly, working away at my husband's Zauberball socks. I think I had these on the sticks when I started podcasting back in, I think maybe February. I don't know. I can't remember when my first podcast was, but you know. And I had this one done, and I was just starting the other one. Well, I am making progress, but I don't know why I continue to, be so slow at this. But yes, I've got the heel flap, rounded the corner, and now I'm on the home stretch doing the foot, but it's taken me a long time. So I hope to finish these up, and hopefully by Father's Day, and I can give them to Tim for Father's Day. And yeah, so I'm really excited to have those off the sticks very soon, but they're still on the sticks. So that is the two things, and the Drachenfell shawl is living inside this lovely bag that I won. I mentioned it a few episodes ago. It's my You So and So bag. It's beautiful. I love it. And my Zauberball socks are living inside another bag that I mentioned at another podcast. This is one of my first that I made. My little memory of Maine. This is my lobster bag that I created myself. So that is that. And now I started also some what I called scrappy socks. And I had them living in this bag, which is one that I also made. This is a scrap bag that I made totally out of scraps. Even the interfacing is pieced together. And I am creating I'm creating a sock, calling a scrappy sock. And this sock I mentioned last podcast is from a Craftsy class that I'm taking. And I just finished because I was working my way slowly through it. And this is called the Susan B. Anderson Toe-Up Sock class. And she goes through it beautifully, absolutely beautifully. From toe, tells you gauge, tells you how to put in your waist yarn to make your afterthought heel. She goes through the afterthought heel and all the measuring, all the way to the top and the bind off. And I did my own bind off. I do the Jenny's Incredibly Stretchy bind off, and I really like it, and I've had good success with that, so I did my own. I'm not finished. I'm on the second one. I am having I don't know if you can see right there, but I had a little problem with holes, and I'm going to have to, hopefully on my second one, I'll have a little more luck. But I can easily fix that. I'll just go in with some scrap yarn of this and work those little holes closed and then work their way in. But it'd be nice not to have to do that. But yeah, that's the first of those scrappy socks. That's finished. That's a FO, a half finished object. And now I'm going to show you where I am on the second one. I am on the last, where did it go? Oh, I see it over there. Just a second. There I am. And this is the other sock that the Susan B. Anderson toe-up sock. So I'm getting close to where I have to put the waist yarn in for the heel, the afterthought heel. So I'm really loving this. And this is the second pair of socks that I've managed to squeak out of this yarn. And I think I showed you last time I finished Mom's birthday socks. I have them right here. Her birthday, I'm so glad she's gonna make it to her 81st birthday. But yes, here's the first pair I made with the red. I had finished those up. But yeah, now I'm just using the same yarn as you can see. And now I've just added a different color. Picked up the purple in the sock, and now that's this one, the toe-up sock, and this is it's still on the sticks. It's the second sock of that. So I've had a lot of hospital knitting, so I've been able to make some progress. And it's living in a bag, this little half. This is what I call it's brand new, and I got it at the Shindig, and I'll go through it a little bit more. But Shannon from Sockcetra likes this bag builder. Her name is, her little company, I don't know her first name. I'll probably include that along the bottom there, but she's Knitty Pie, and she sold me this bag. She sold me this little bag, and she sold me one other that I gifted to my niece, a little sock bag. So I'm going to go through all that in my acquisitions. But yes, those are my little socks that I have living in this. And look at that. That's a pair of socks. Actually, it's only one sock and a ball of yarn. And doesn't that fit neatly into my purse? I can just, it's not a big thing. I can pull it out when I have a few minutes. If I'm waiting at a doctor's office or a dentist office or whatever, if I have a few minutes, I can pull this little thing out and carry on knitting my little scrappy socks. So that's real cool. All right, so I think that's all of what's on the sticks. Do I have any finished objects? These are my off the sticks, and I think I had these done before. Can't remember. It's been so long since I podcast last, so if I'm repeating myself from other podcasts, I apologize, but Mom's birthday socks are finally off the sticks, and I think I had them done before, but I'm not sure. Anyway, if they're not, that is really the only finished object that I have. So I'm going to make this a really quick podcast because I have a day off here today, and I'm finally getting to a podcast, but I don't have a lot of time because I have laundry, and I'm doing the big, we call it the April birthday party at my house on Sunday, and I have to work tomorrow, and a busy weekend coming up, and my house is a disaster. So I need to spend the rest of the day cleaning and laundry and catching up and making my house presentable for family and a party. So I'm trying to make this quick. Anyway, so let's move on to the fix, which I love. I got a lot of acquisitions. Mostly from that little show that I went to, that Fibre Shindig here in Calgary last Saturday morning. But when I was in Palm Springs, I did a lot of shopping online. I said I was so good, but I really wasn't that good. I was kind of a bad girl. And I ordered another pair of sock blockers because I've always got so many pairs on the go. It's nice to have. I had the little ones from the Loopy U, but these ones, now her name is Chappie, and I got them out of her Etsy shop. And her name's Chappie, and I'll try to include more information. But because I'm Canadian and she is an American, but I ordered them down there because it was so much cheaper to have things delivered in the US than it is to have them from the US shipped to Canada. So I ordered them because they said they could ship them and they could be there in 3 days. So I ordered them, and then she said, yes, that's the case if we have them made and ready to go. But she had to create these. So then I had to pay extra $30 US to have them shipped to Canada. So that was, ouch, that's like 40. But whatever, it hurt, but I wanted them and I got them. And these are sock blockers, and you can understand, being Canadian, why these are really important to me. Aren't they lovely? This little Etsy shop, Chappie, whatever, she and her husband work together. He does these and then she ships them out. Oh, here it is. I don't have to put it on the bottom. There's the name of the company that does it. And they have an Etsy shop on, a little Etsy shop. They're beautiful, and I can't remember what I paid, but the workmanship is beautiful. Look how beautiful precision cut these are. And yes, they look nice sporting a pair of socks. And I will put a pair on to show you just how lovely they look. These are my, look at that. Isn't that cute? That is so awesome. So yes, look at that. My new sock blockers, and look how they display socks so beautifully. So that's acquisition number 1. And the Fibre Shindig in Calgary had a lot of little booths, and you walk around and you see all these different people. I had 2 yarn purchases. Well, I had more, but when I bought some yarn, I also bought some for my sister, because this was our little hour away, because we'd been at the hospital all the time. So we kind of said, you know what, we need to take some time for ourselves. So the Shindig was our time away. And she bought me, I'd never heard of this dyer before, and maybe I'm going to search them on Etsy. She bought the same color in a fingering weight to make socks, and I bought this hoping that I might put this into a shawl. And the name of the dyer, the indie dyer, is, here it is. Here's her card. Now is that focusing? You know what? I'm going to actually break down and put some glasses on. Sorry, aren't these lovely? I look like a grandma. Oh, what do you know I am? Anyway, Dragonfly Dye Works, and Dye Works is WERX at the end. And it says, color your world in yarn. And this is called Sunrise After the Arabian Nights. And it is 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And it's 4-ply, it's 231 yards. So I bought, on my last podcast, I talked about, I had a cream yarn and a bright sunny yellow yarn. And I might add this as a 3rd yarn into a summer shawl that when I finish my more of a fallish, wintry Drachenfell shawl, I might do a summer one. By the time I get it done, summer will be over. But anyway, I'm thinking I might add this to the Drachenfells. Melanie Berg, who's the designer of the Drachenfell, she also has another pattern that I'm really interested in, and I'll place the picture in here. And it's something about spice. I'll put the name and the pattern, and I thought maybe I might purchase that one. Might or might not, but I definitely will do a Melanie Berg shawl, be it the Drachenfells or the one that I'm inserting the picture of here. And I thought this one, the cream and the yellow, would be the great, wonderful 3 colors. Beautiful yarn, lovely, squishy, soft, lovely little indie dyer. And I don't know where she's from, but she's lovely. There we go. Dragonfly Dye Works. So that's acquisition number 1. A second acquisition, I bought some for my sister, which she took, and I just bought this one as well. And the story on this indie dyer is she is a local girl as well, and she does yarn. I belong to I'll take these off now. I belong to a knitting guild, and the knitting guild is celebrating their 25th anniversary in June. And in kind of to celebrate it, they asked this indie dyer that I'm about to share here with you to create a yarn that is specifically only made for the guild. The guild we're the Gillyhook Guild, Knitting Guild, Gillyhook Knitting Guild. And so because it's 25, I think the base is kind of a silvery gray. And there's going to be blue, because Alberta is known for its blue skies. And there's going to be a pinky, kind of almost a fuchsia for the rose, the Alberta wild rose. That's our flower, our provincial flower. So the yarn is going to incorporate those 3 colors. And I've ordered 2 skeins of that. But I just love the fact that she's from around here, and she does beautiful work. And I've seen her yarn on other podcasts, but she is Sea Turtle Fiber Arts, and this is her company. And this is called the Ridley Sock, and the colorway, if you can imagine, what do you see in here? There's a bunch of rainbow colors. This is her Prism colorway. So it's got, and it should, she said it won't really stripe, but it'll have kind of sections that are going through the colors. And it's again, it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So yes, she's a local girl, and you can see her stuff. I've seen her pictures on Etsy. I think she might have an Etsy shop, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm sure she has a website, but it's Sea Turtle Fiber Arts, and this is my purchase. And I bought one for my sister. Hers was more of an aqua. She lives on the East Coast, and they have a house right on the water. So she kind of tends to, you know, like the aqua sea foam color. So I bought her a sock yarn that was that. So that is some of my acquisitions. There was also there was all kinds of other artisans there, and I fell in love. There's a lady there who does beads, and I want to put my glasses back on here. She does what she calls it's the Burnt Glass Studio. Her name is Brenda King. She has a Facebook page. She's Burnt Glass Studio on Facebook, and she is www.burntglassstudio.blogspot.com, and her email is burntglassstudio@shaw.ca. And this is her little card. Then I won't have to put all this up. And this is the back side of her card, which is cool. And that's all her information. And so I am just starting to make some jewelry and some stitch markers and my favorite thing lately has been little progress keepers. Anyway, she makes these gorgeous, like each bead is like a work of art. Look at this one. This is a tree. There's some silver in there. Because it was quite expensive, well, not really, like $10 or $15, but because this one had silver content in it, it was a little more. But look at that, and it's a bead. So I'm excited to do something of a necklace with that bead. I love this bead. This is the one, of course, because I like bright colors. I'm kind of like ADO and squirrel kind of thing. Because I like the bright colors, I love this bead. Look at this one. Again, like, you know, I think it was maybe $10, but won't that make a really smashing necklace? I'm thinking of putting some silver in and spiraling it or something. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to have some fun with that. And then the third and my absolute favorite is this one. Take a look at that. Isn't that splendid? Oh, I love it. And look at the back side. I mean, it's a total piece of artwork. So yes, I love her work, and I'm going to make some beautiful pieces with that. So that was one of my acquisitions. And now let's go on to the little bags that I bought. I bought a little firefly bag, and I'd seen I've seen someone else use this fabric before, but it's kids chasing fireflies, and I loved it. But my niece was around this weekend too, with Mom being sick and all, and I decided because she's a little sock knitter that I would give her the bag. But I bought that blue little sock bag. I bought this little bag that I mentioned before. I'm going to close it up so my yarn isn't sticking out. This little one, and I think it's supposed to be a notions bag. And what I love about it, I don't know if you can see, there's past my knitting, but I'm a teacher, and this, if you can see that, it looks like little lined paper, like foolscap paper, as well as, look at the little apples on it. Now she is superb. Her attention to detail is phenomenal. And her name, oh, and I bought a little notions, little tiny one. Look at this. This will be great for stitch marker holder. And of course it has apples. And I being a teacher, look at the inside. Like, look, fully lined. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. And her card is here. There. Her name is, and I just put it down. I saw it. Here it is. Her name is, sorry, small print again. Her name is Corina Irvine, and she's a knitter, a quilter, and a crafter. And she calls herself Knitty Pie, and I know that Socksetra mentions her. And there's her information if you'd like to get any of her stuff. She has a little Etsy shop, I know, and she is just lovely, and her attention to detail is amazing. So yes, I got that 3 bags from her. The beads, I don't even know where I got this, but My girlfriend, Carmen, who is, I've mentioned on previous podcasts, when my family was all together here, she is one of those people that drops everything and she loves to serve and help. So what she did for us during this whole time with Mom is that she made an enormous batch of hamburger soup. She brought buns over, sandwich meats, some other breads, some snacks and some sweets. And she just basically came over and, like an angel, she delivered a parcel to our family so that she could feed us, because when we got home from the hospital, we were so exhausted that it was just nice to come home to a big bowl of soup and a bunwich. And so she did that for me. And as a little thank you, I bought her a mug from the same place as this, and I'll get onto that. And her mug so had a kind of a bad word. It had the F word on it, but it wasn't fully written out. It had F #CK off, I'm knitting. And it was just kind of an attitude cup, and that's just me. I'm just kind of out there. And so I bought her that, and I also bought her a little button that says, "My husband's wife is awesome." And perfect, right? So I bought her that. And I also bought another little button that I'm not gonna show it here. This one I'm gifting to someone, and I think they watch the podcast, so when you get it, you'll know. But anyway, I bought some little buttons that are fun. And I think that is all. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about my mug, which I love. This is a mug that I bought at the Fibre Shindig, and it's from a, I guess it's one of a kind. She only made one chartreuse one, and this is my absolute favorite color. And here is her name is Kara Carter. She's an artist and a potter, and her company is called Chasing Fire. And she was amazing. She was funny, and we were laughing at the mug that I bought, and the other one for Carmen, and that I bought this one, and she told me it's one of a kind. So anyway, I just wanted to do a shout out to her as well. All these awesome artists and potters and knitters and dyers. It was just a great place and a great escape. I almost forgot, and I don't want to forget. At the Fibre Shindig, I also ran into a girl who I've purchased yarn from in the past. And she noticed me right away and came up and said, "Hello, Carla Jean," because we are Instagram friends. And she mentioned that she didn't know I podcasted, and I think she binge watched my podcasts. Anyway, she wants to do a little collaboration. I'm not sure what it's going to look like yet, but I have yarn from her. I purchased some sock yarn, which I gifted to my sister, and I purchased some other, I think, fingering weights, 100% merino. She does all kinds of things. She's a pattern writer. She's recently created a hat that's a black and white stripy hat that's got a little faux fur pom-pom on it, and she sells kits. And her name, and I'll put the information up here and a picture of her website. She is YYC Knits. And YYC, if you go to our airport, YYC is our 3-letter kind of code for Calgary. So she's here in Calgary. She's an indie dyer, a knitter. I think she teaches some lessons at a local coffee shop. She's just a little independent entrepreneurial spirit, and I just wanted to do a shout out. Hi, Leslie. Anyway, I just didn't want to, I don't know what it's going to look like, but in the future, her and I are going to collaborate on something, maybe, not sure, but giveaway. I don't know what it is. Anyway, we haven't figured it out yet. We haven't had our walk in Confederation Park, which we're planning. And I just wanted to do a shout out so that she knows that I'm thinking about her and that I plan on doing something with her, be it, I don't know, maybe a knit along, maybe? I don't know what it's going to look like. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to do before I ended. I think that is it. After this, I created a little tutorial that I'm going to share after this, as well as I also, I'm sharing a piece of art, and just a small piece at the end that I'm going to share as well at the very end. But I did a little tutorial that I'm going to put up next here. Some people ask me, and I've taught my little knitting club, and I've talked to some, well, actually I did it last year, I didn't do it this year, but a little girl had 2 pieces of yarn that she wanted to connect, and rather than tie a knot and cause a knot, I taught her how to splice. So I did a little tutorial, and I'm going to add that to the end of this. And I also wanted to share something else that I'm creating as well. It's one of my stitch markers, and actually this is a progress keeper. I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it up here, put my hand behind it. And these are, I'm having so much fun making these. And my friend Carmen, this is yours, because during the whole time with my mom, she was truly an angel. So this is her little, another little thing that I'm gifting her when, hopefully she doesn't see this before I get it to her, but it's just, she is an angel, Angel Carmen. My sister coined her that. She truly is a gift. So anyway, see you later, everybody. It's been lovely, and I'll put up the other 2 little clips on the end, and hopefully I won't be so long between now and my next podcast. Have a really great day. Enjoy your family. Hug them, because you just never know, you know, what life throws at you. I love you. See you next time. Bye-bye. So I'm winding 2 balls of sock yarn that I got at a charity function. It was in a plastic bag that said sock yarn. So I'm trying to create 1 ball of sock yarn, and then I come to something that looks like this. Now, we all know as knitters that that is not a good join to have inside your work, because it'll be a big bump in your sock, and it would be awful, especially if it was at the bottom of your foot. So I'm going to show you how to create a seamless join between 2 balls of sock yarn, the one that I'm working on, and I'm taking it from this, and I've noticed that there's a few of these along the way. So I'm going to give you a lesson. Get rid of the knot. Gone. Then you're going to take each strand of yarn and you're going to split it. I think this is, I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 ply, but I'm going to take the strand and I'm going to split it so that it has 2 legs on it. If you can see that, I've created yarn with 2 legs. So that's on one side, and I've done the same. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to split it. Okay. There we go. So this has 2 legs, and the opposite piece of yarn has 2 legs. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the ends. So there's 2 legs here. I'm going to dip them in my little thing of water here to get them wet, and I'm going to do the same with the other 2. So they're nice and wet. Okay, get rid of that. Now, your job is now to take the 2 legs, and just like I'm going to lay them out here. So 2 legs there, and 2 legs here. And now, oops, this one kind of joined again, but that's okay. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to show you with my fingers what I'm going to attempt to do here. Pretend these are the 2 legs of, I'm going to do this with the yarn so that they are kind of interlocking like so. So you take this one and this one. They're a little wet. They're supposed to be wet, but a little too wet maybe. And then you're going to intertwine them so that they do what like I did with my fingers. Okay, just about got it here. It's fiddly, but I've got it. And you pull it down on those 2 and those 2. So now they are opposing each other, like so. And I'll show you what it looks like on my hand. So they're kind of joined, but they're like I did before, they're interlocking. So if you can see that. And now the fun begins. You're going to, first of all, twist them so that they're sort of attached. You put them in your hand. You take the butt of your hand and you put it on here and you go like so. And you remember how when your hands are cold, you can rub and make friction? Well, what you're doing here is you're felting the two joins together. You're going to, and it works really well if there's a wool content. If it's a synthetic, you'll know you're not dealing with a proper wool content if you're doing this and they don't tend to felt together. That's how I know this is a good yarn, because I'm getting a nice felting action here. And the heat of your hand and the wet, just like when you make felted slippers or a felted project, you just keep doing this up and down the little join until you have yourself a join that's felt together. And then you twist it again, like so, and there you have, put my hand under it, a felted join. And I would work on it a little bit more. That's not quite as felted as much as I like it, but I just keep working it until you have an invisible join, and you created a join instead of two loose ends. Give it another twist, and it's got some good strength, and there you have it. Okay, so here's a painting I did probably 5 years ago. It's just a picture I took off the internet. It's a partial picture, and I've been told by different people that it looks like each of my daughters. Some people say it looks like my oldest daughter. Some people say it looks like my younger daughter. So I just call it daughter. And so I want to show you something. It doesn't look like much here, but as we back up, I just wanted to show you how it looks more and more realistic and like a photo the further back I go. There. Now, does that not look like a photo? I just kind of love it. It's just an interesting piece.